Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper and Chronicles. Today we're back at you with another Ratchet video. This time we have a Ratchet. This is a Diehard Ratchet, and the store where they sell these, the other place I've seen is Advanced Auto. So if you have an Advanced Auto near you, maybe you might want to check this out. Maybe you might not want to after you watch this video. Okay, this is a 3/8 ratchet. Like I said, Diehard. This is 92, 4 degrees of swing arc, and the model is DHP55137. And this is, I guess, the regular, their 3/8 ratchet. They have other ratchets. They're, I think, different, that fall under a different brand. I forgot the name of that one, but here's the back. It says lifetime warranty, and it's made in Taiwan. So, and this, just on a side note, this is a ridiculously designed package that's kind of hard and not too intuitive when you want to open it up. So do your best when you if you get one of these. Okay, this one sells for $26.99 is the regular asking price for this ratchet. I had a gift card from Advanced Auto, and I got it because I turned in, or I went and recycled an old battery I had laying around. So if you have any old batteries, any 12 volt like car batteries laying around in your garage, if you take them down to Advanced Auto, they'll give you a $10 gift card, and which is a pretty good deal. I think if you have like just some really old battery laying around somewhere in your garage or whatever, you know, they'll give you a $10 gift card for purchase in the store. So I used that gift card, so I wound up paying like $16.99 for this. And okay, what I'm gonna compare this with is, if you look at it, it looks a lot like an Icon. So for obvious comparison, I'm going to take apart this Icon and show you the difference. This is the Icon. I think this one is the model which is has a little bit shorter handle than the regular one. This is the R2S model, but should have the same innards as a regular Icon. Okay, alright, I took off the screws on both just to save some time. This is the screw for the Diehard, and this is the screw for the Icon. And the screw for the Icon is a bit thicker than the screw for the Diehard. You can see there, but the threads don't look any thicker, but the screw does look a little bit thicker on that for the plates. And let's take this apart and we'll compare. Maybe I should take the Icon apart first. Here's the plate. You can see the thickness there, not too bad. This one has some engraving or stamping on the plate, as do not immerse in fluids, and 92 on the bottom. Here is the gear, 92 gear, came up pretty well lubricated. There is no there's no what do you call it, any gasket or rubber gasket or anything to keep the dirt out, not on the gear. And here is the pawl. It's a pretty big pawl. It's lubricated also. It says 90 on it. And here is the switch. Let me grab a pair of plastic tweezers. And here's the plunger, and the spring looks pretty big, and the switch has a ball. This one, for some reason, does have a rubber seal. You can see it there, that black rubber seal for the switch side, but on the gear there is no gasket or anything. And there's the spring, and we saw the ball fall out, and that goes underneath the switch. Okay, that's the icon. Alright, let's take a look at this Diehard and see what's inside. Let me go back and double check that there is no gasket under here. No, there is none. There's all this kind of spacer there and it's kind of canted or twisted like that, I guess maybe to add some friction, because it didn't come out flat when I originally opened it up. Okay, let's look in here. This plate, let me go to the plate. They are about the same in thickness. This the Diehard doesn't have letters, but the Diehard, if we look at the back and the inside portion, it does have a channel around the plate. It's like a little channel you see there around the plate, and that is because the Diehard has a rubber gasket that runs along the side of the plate on the inside. And here is that gasket, a rubber seal. And let's take out the gear. The gear does have another rubber gasket. So we have one covering the plate and one gasket on the gear that covers the hole to keep the dirt out. So we have two gaskets so far on this one, and here is the pawl on this model, and let's compare it to the pawl on the icon. And as we can see, the pawls look pretty similar in size and style. This one doesn't have any grooves or anything around the edge, and this one does have a little bit of a groove you can see on the edges. And another thing is that the Diehard is slightly thicker, slightly wider pawl than the icon. So there you can see how much wider it is. Okay, and over here we have the plunger. This plunger is smaller. It's smaller than the plunger here for the icon. That's the icon, the silver one, and the black one is the one for the Diehard. And I do feel that the icon has a little bit stiffer spring when you ratchet it. It has a little bit more back drag, not a lot, but you can feel like the spring and the plunger are a bit stiffer, in my opinion. Okay, here's the part where it's different as far as the switches. That's what the type of switch cutout that they have in the icon. And this one, it has, you see that little tab there sticking up? That's a separate tab that you need to take out with a pair of like needle nose pliers or something. You have to wedge, it's wedged in there, so you have to kind of wedge it out. And let me cut away and I'll do that, so I won't spend a lot of time, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So this is the switch, and this is the little wedge, metal wedge that goes into this compartment here, and just like you have to like wedge it in, and that keeps that little piece of metal, keeps it from falling out of the ratchet. So, but you have to remove this little wedge. You have to remove it up with a needle nose style pliers, something like this, and it will come out. It shouldn't come out with much difficulty. Okay, and another important thing is that we have the 3 rubber gaskets, and we have the third one here. No, we have the 2 for the gear, and the one for the plate, and we have one for the switch here. You can see there. So the three gaskets. So this is pretty impervious or secure from getting a lot of dirt and debris in it. And this one, as opposed to this one has the spring in here, and this one has kind of the spring goes all the way through, or the cut, the broaching for the switch kind of goes all the way through on this one, on the icon. On the broaching here for the switch, it stops over here, and it has a bit of metal covering this spot here, so it doesn't go all the way through. But you have the spring in there, and it has a ball also. Another interesting thing is that the ball for the icon is nothing wants to cooperate. Well, I lost the ball. I'll be right back. Okay, found the ball. The one on the bottom is the ball for the Diehard. The one on top is the ball for the icon. You can see that the difference in the sizes there. So the icon that definitely has, the ball is a little bit larger. Okay, what else? Here's a look on the inside of the ratchet. You can see the broaching and the broaching for the switch there. And just as a comparison, here's the broaching for the icon ratchet. And another kind of interesting thing that differentiates the two gears. This is the Diehard, and the Icon is that the Icon has like a flat bottom here, and the Diehard has a little protrusion or boss there that fits into that indentation there, or that broaching, that circle there. It's slightly shallow to permit that. And just so you can see the thickness, they look pretty similar. The teeth width, they look pretty similar, almost the same. But as we saw, the pawl for the Diehard was a little bit thicker, a little bit wider than the pawl here for the Icon. And that's about it for these for this Diehard. We've seen online, I think there are quite a bit of videos for the Icon, teardown videos, all kinds of videos. I think this is the first time, or maybe I could be wrong, but I didn't see any videos for this Diehard line, so that's pretty interesting. To get this back together, pretty straightforward. You get the switch. It's kind of hard, actually. It's not very hard, but it's a little bit different. First, you got to get the little ball onto the spring, and then put this on top of that somehow. And once you get it there, you get the switch on top of the ball. Then you get the little wedge, and that wedge goes all the way at the back. You see that square hole back there, and you have to get like a screwdriver or something and really kind of mash it down, because there is not a great amount of friction, but it is a friction piece. Once you get that, you put your ball, what do you call it, plunger and spring into the round hole there, and then you put your pawl there. I usually do things the reverse, and they had the 9T on the front there, so that's the way I would put it in. And then drop your gear in on top of that, hold it down a little bit, and then drop your gear on top of that. The problem, probably the hardest problem here is to get this rubber O-ring around this thing, that little depression there, and get it in the right spot where it stays in position, and then this has to fall on top of that, and that O-ring has to go into this little slot at the end there around the plate. And it might take you a couple of tries to get it right. The thing is, if you get it wrong, it's gonna grab the O-ring is gonna hit the gear, and you're gonna know when it does that, because you're gonna try to ratchet, and you can feel it. It's not gonna. You can feel something stuck in there, and I wouldn't. So when you try it to see if it's ratcheting, I wouldn't give it a lot of force, because you might just tear or rip this kind of thin O-ring. So that's the biggest problem with getting this back together, is positioning this O-ring really good and getting the plate on top to where that ring fits into that little edge there. So that's about it. for this, I don't want to do it because it's gonna add another 5 minutes to this video. But it's, believe me, it's doable. I did it. I took it apart and I did put it back together again once before, so it is definitely doable. But in the interest of time, I don't want to add another 5 or 6 minutes to this video. But in conclusion, this seems, I don't know, this seems, it has some features that are better than this Icon ratchet. You have the total O-ring protection for the plate, the anvil, and the switch. So it's pretty secure in that you won't pretty much get any debris into this ratchet if all these components, for all the seals hold up pretty good. So over here, as we saw, there's no seal here for the anvil, there's no seal for the plate. There is a seal there for the switch. The parts on this one seem a little bit bigger. The screws seem a little bit bigger. The plunger seemed a little bit bigger. The spring and ball seemed a little bit bigger for the Icon as opposed to the Diehard, which the plunger, the ball and spring, and the screw seemed a little bit smaller on this one. And I don't know, maybe you might think this one's a bit too much complication on this one, as far as it having, you know, a switch that has separate parts or a separate part to remove it. So I don't know, this one might be, you might feel this one's a little bit more complicated than that one. But price, $27 for this. The full size one, the regular size one that's about as long as this one, is $40. So for an Icon, you're going to be paying $40. For this one, it's $27. So there is a bit of a price difference there between the two. You're going to be paying more for the Icon. The Icon has the packaging, the box, the little rag, and all that stuff that's included, and of course you're paying for that. So $40 for that and $27 for this one. And of course this one comes with this, which doesn't really cost that much, I guess. Alright guys, until next time.